Jessie was very focused. She had an eye for systems, for state systems, knowing that that was the most efficient, effective way to deliver services for children and families. And her top accomplishments were early intervention, which many in the audience will recognize, quality childcare, and also multidisciplinary teams, which is now evident in Project Harmony.
I was back there when Kathy Moore first got this idea, when after starting this whole organization called Voices for Children, and I've always seen them as a credible organization that uses good data to make the case for the importance of investing in young children and families. I may be just one person standing up with this honor, but I represent a whole team of people all throughout my professional life who've made good things happen for children and families.
Jessie cares deeply about the well-being of children and families, and no one works harder than Jessie to make things happen for children and families.
What touches my heart about Jessie is her passion for children and their families, and to make life better for all of them.
I think Jessie had this ability to see things from a policy level and kind of what are those things that we need to do to adjust the work from policy, and she also had kind of the groundwork experience. That she could just bring those two things together and really make things come to life. It wasn't just change the policy, it was how do we change practice and change policy for everything all about children. Really, her whole career is about improving the lives of children, especially vulnerable children in our community.
Creating the child advocacy teams, they're still called today the number of the legislation, 1184. And that idea came from people who were working with young children in child protection, advocates in the field, who shared with me the system was re-victimizing the child, making them tell their story over and over and over again to the police, to the child protective service worker, to the doctor. And oftentimes they each got slightly different pieces of information. So when things didn't go right, there was a lot of finger pointing. So this is what I heard from others. So we worked together to create legislation that really mandated that the county attorneys put together multidisciplinary teams. And so what's really exciting is to see an idea like that come to life in ways that you didn't even imagine when you first had that idea. So I look at Project Harmony today and I go, wow, that's become something really amazing. It was way more than what the original idea was because of the strong leadership of people like Jean Klein. The same way with the Nebraska Children and Families Foundation, I happen to be in a position to help with others to figure out how we were really going to focus on preserving families instead of splitting them all up. Came out of the Family Preservation Act at the federal level in the late 90s. And so we came up with this idea to create an intermediary that would facilitate departments working together, that would facilitate public-private opportunities, and would be totally focused on prevention, both primary and secondary, throughout a child's life. So to be part of that team was an opportune moment. And then I happened to be head of Health and Human Services, and Mary Jo Pancock said she'd like to go try and make this idea come to life.
I can't think of another person that has done more to ensure that children have access to the services they need to be successful than Jessie has. She has done so much to help improve the systems that serve children and families and to make sure that services are available and accessible when they need them.
Hundreds of thousands of children are impacted because of the leadership and the vision and the impact of Jessie Rasmussen in this community. Hundreds of thousands of children through decades of her work are impacted because of her
Jessie's leadership. She's not afraid to step out there. She's not afraid to make bold decisions, and she has done so in many of the positions that she's been in.
She's bright. She's great at cultivating the skills of other folks, but it all comes out of a passion to make things better for all children and their families. I couldn't think of anybody else who deserves this honor more than her.
I have to keep working because I don't think we're done yet in reaching my dream of every child, no matter where they live, no matter what their family's economic status, no matter what their race or ethnicity is, that every child has loving, nurturing environments that support their healthy growth and development. And we've done some good things in Nebraska. We still have a ways to go to not only support the children's healthy growth and development, but the caretakers, their parents, their families, and their caretaker partners, whether it's another family member or a paid early childhood professional who is doing this. We have to recognize it's those relationships that are making the difference in the lives of children. And so we really need to do far more to support them financially, as well as with systems that enable them to do the best possible job.